Welcome to part one of this course on music theory, the fundamentals of music theory for guitarists. So why specifically for guitarists? Well, here we can see at the top of the screen the C major scale laid out on the keyboard, and it's fairly easy to see: C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So learning harmony on the keyboard is relatively simple at the beginning. C to E, you could say, is an interval, to G is another interval. You can see it quite clearly laid out in front of you. However, on the guitar, when we have a similar scale, it's laid out in this pattern like this, or it can be, typically. So it goes. And looking at that pattern, it's not that obvious where an interval is, or where a major third, a minor third, a fifth. Okay, so we need some method to correlate what we see on the fretboard with what we see on the music stave. So what we're going to do is show how we can locate a note on the fretboard and find its equivalent on a music staff or stave. Because even if you can play the guitar very well, if you cannot understand the notes that appear on the stave, it's going to be difficult to fully understand harmony on the guitar. So first we find the notes that are on the music staff itself. Here we can see over this side, this symbol here, which is called a treble clef. It's a treble clef of a particular type, but the thing is, the curly bit here wraps itself around a line which represents the note G. So below the G we have F. So we got F, G, then we have A, then we have B, then C, then D and E. So the notes between the lines are F, A, C and E, face, and the notes on the lines are E, G, B, D and F. So you can remember the notes by face, or every good boy deserves favour, or football, or anything else you can think of that begins with F. So first we're going to start out by looking at the notes that are on the open strings on the guitar. That's E, A, D, G, B and E. Where do they appear on the stave? Well, over here I have a little virtual guitar, and on the left side is the low E, and on the right side is the high E. And I'm going to play those notes by clicking on this. I already recorded this, so now we're going to look at the open strings as they appear on the stave. We'll start with the low E, which is here, followed by the A, then D, G, B, and finally E. So move on to the next slide, and we see we're going to now locate the notes between and on the ledger lines using the virtual fretboard again. Now I'm going to add the notes between the ledger lines. So we slowly build up a picture of this fretboard The first note I'm going to add is on the 4th string here and the 3rd fret. It's F. The next note I'm going to add is on the 3rd string on the 2nd fret, and it is A. The next note I'm going to add can be found on the 2nd string, 1st fret. That is C. And we already know E is the open string. Now, the notes on the line can be found 4th string, 2nd fret here, E. We already know G, and we already know open B. The only one, every good boy, the next one is D, which is 2nd string, 3rd fret. And finally, we have favour F, which is the 1st string, 1st fret. So, the notes we've learnt so far are open strings E, A, D, G, B, and then E. And we said that the notes between the ledger lines are face, F, A, C. We've already had E, F, A, C, E. And then on the ledger lines, every E good boy deserves football. A, C, F, E, F. Right. You may recall that we have notated 2 Fs on our stave. There's a lower one here and an upper one there. They're the same note but at different pitch. There's the lower one and there's the higher one. And we can see them on the frets here. So F, the lower one is on the 4th string, 3rd fret, and the upper one is on the 1st string, 1st fret. Here's some other examples I prepared earlier. Our first octave will start on the open string D. To make it an octave, we need to play the D above, which is 3rd fret, 2nd string. To make our next octave, we're going to start on E, the E that is located on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. An octave above is the open E of the 1st string. I guess now you're getting the picture. We'll now start with the next octave, which is F, starting on F, which is the 3rd fret of the 4th string. And the F above, which we already learned, is located on the 1st fret of the 1st string. Now, the octave is divided into 12 intervals. In Western music, from around the time of the end of the 17th century, a system was introduced called even temperament, which divides the octave into 12 steps. So this octave here, just get my little pen, is represented on the guitar. That F is there, and that F is there. Okay, it's divided into 12. Now it's difficult to see on the guitar, you see. You've got to go from there to there, and 12 steps. One, so it goes 1, 2, 3. It's not that easy. So what I've done is I've laid it out as you can play on the guitar. So here we have at the bottom the first F, and here we have here the final F, and in between there are 12 intervals. So that gives us our scale that sounds like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, going up and down. Now normally you wouldn't play it on the guitar this way, you'd play it in a pattern, as we mentioned previously. But this, laying it out this way, gives you the idea of how it would appear on an infinitely long string. So we have 7 intervals in the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 notes, 7 intervals. And so how do we fit that when we have half steps for each fret? Well, it's pretty obvious, you can see from there. Sometimes we have 2 frets gap. That's do, re. The next one is re, mi. 2 frets gap. Mi, fa. And then fa, sol. Sol, la. La, ti. Ti, do. Which we normally play in a pattern. So this brings us on to the next part, which is the diatonic scale. Diatonic means 2 tones, so we have a scale, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, which consists of either 2 fret jumps or 1 fret jump. So that will be discussed in section 2.